welcome to Movement with Laurelle. I'm Laurelle and I'm going to be talking to you about restorative yoga today. So what is restorative yoga? You've probably seen it, you've probably heard of it, and it probably looks like a lot of people just lying around, which it kind of is. But restorative yoga has so many wonderful benefits and absolutely everyone can benefit from it. Restorative yoga often gets that reputation that it's for beginners, which don't get me wrong, it definitely is. But what people sometimes forget is that holding stillness and slow moving practices are often the most challenging, and it's often the most advanced practitioners that are doing these practices and able to hold stillness and meditation with ease. So why am I talking to you about restorative yoga? Because I think we need more of it, and everyone can use it in their day-to-day life, and it just has so many benefits that I want to make sure that you know what it is. So what is restorative yoga? At its core, restorative yoga is passive healing. It is such a transformative practice. It helps balance the autonomic nervous system, which is the fight or flight response that we have in our body. You might have heard of that fight or flight response, and it's usually activated when the body feels like it's in threat, and it's that instinct of survival. And it made sense back in the day. It made sense that we had that fight or flight response, but now we have it activated a little bit too much in our day-to-day life. So restorative yoga helps us slow that down. It helps balance everything out. Restorative yoga is long held postures, often resting postures. So they're often comfortable shapes that we can hold for a long period of time. Usually they go hand in hand with props, but you can do restorative yoga without props. But having those extra props is definitely helpful, and it helps the body relax a little bit deeper when it's supported that way. So some of my favorite postures are restorative postures, and I just love to use pillows and blankets and blocks just to make sure that I can be held in stillness and hold the shape for a long period of time. We do hold restorative shapes for about 10 to 15 minutes depending on each shape and depending on the practice really, and then who's in the practice. Restorative yoga helps us discover where we're holding tension in the body, because oftentimes we don't actually realize where we're holding tension or that we're actually holding tension. We hold emotional tension, we hold mental tension, and we also hold physical tension. And restorative yoga helps release these tensions in the body. Restorative yoga helps us dig deep in towards ourselves, and it helps us uncover what's beneath the surface. So oftentimes the reason why holding stillness is so challenging is because it kind of bubbles everything up to the surface that we were trying to forget or trying to ignore. So it can be challenging because sometimes it can bring up unpleasant memories, unpleasant feelings, but we just have to work through that, because when we can acknowledge something and notice it and become aware, we can let it go. And when we let go, we grow. And restorative yoga helps us condition the body to understand relaxation. It conditions the body to learn to relax faster, because we don't actually relax in our day-to-day life. You might think, of course I relax. I watch TV at the end of the day, I read a book, I go for a walk. But really, relaxation is doing absolutely nothing. Relaxation is holding stillness, concentrating on the breath, and trying to quiet the mind. And that's what we're doing in restorative yoga. We're holding stillness for long periods of time, we're focusing on the breath, and we're trying to quiet the mind. And our minds are very active, which is great. And often you hear in meditation, and restorative is it has that element of meditation in it. And we often think that we're not supposed to have thoughts, and we're supposed to completely have a blank mind when we're doing these practices. But that's why it's called a practice, because it takes years and years to completely quiet the mind. The trick is to simply acknowledge and let go. Notice the thought, let it go. And slowly we'll be able to quiet the mind and allow it to be completely still and quiet. And restorative yoga has so many benefits. It's first of all just such a relaxing practice, and it's so refreshing. You end up feeling so revitalized after the end of the practice, but it also optimizes the circulatory system. It increases digestion, which, like, who doesn't want that? It lowers cortisol, which is the stress hormone in the body, and it increases serotonin and dopamine, which helps us have an overall well-being, helps us be emotionally more stable. Restorative yoga also lowers blood pressure, and it releases, like I said, not only physical tension, but also emotional and mental tension. I first started practicing restorative yoga when I got diagnosed with endometriosis, which many of you, if you follow me, know I'm a big advocate about. And the reason I got into restorative yoga is because I was experiencing chronic pain. And what happens when you have chronic pain is, what you don't realize is you're building tension in the body as a result of this pain. And restorative yoga helps you to release these tensions. It doesn't necessarily get rid of the pain, because I don't like to say that in chronic pain it gets rid of the pain. It just releases that tension that built up as a result of experiencing chronic pain. Because when we're dealing with chronic pain, or we're dealing with constant stress, we're building up tension and building it and building it and building it, and we never give it a chance to let go. So that's why restorative yoga is so important, because it lets it go. Restorative yoga also teaches us the importance of stillness, importance of holding space for ourselves, which we often don't do. So it's so important to understand ourselves, to dig a little deeper, because when we can hold stillness, when we can go inward, we can tap into the subconscious mind a little bit more. We can rewire the brain, and we can start to have a little bit more compassion for ourselves. It helps increase self-love. It helps increase patience in our day-to-day life. And it also helps us get more comfortable with the idea of letting life just unfold. Releasing that idea of controlling every situation and just simply letting go, which is such a beautiful way to live. Now, it's important to know that when you start practicing restorative yoga, it's not necessarily going to come easily at first. It can be intimidating because you hold shapes for such a long period of time, and often in silence, which can be uncomfortable. So when you start practicing, be patient with yourself and know that that is why it's called a practice. Because we practice to get better. We practice to get more comfortable with holding stillness, with being quiet. So when you go into it, go in with an open mind. Trust the process a little bit. Allow the teacher to guide you into a comfortable state, and enjoy it. Enjoy an hour, 30 minutes where you can simply just be. Do nothing. Just rest, restore, and relax. If you're looking for restorative yoga, I teach restorative yoga live every single Monday through my platform. You can find the link below. And I also have lots of videos on the YouTube channel for restorative yoga to help you ease into stillness a little bit more. If you have any questions, pop them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so that you can get free yoga and meditation videos every single week. Give it a like, give me a comment, let me know what you thought. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you on the mat next week.